The Seattle Mariners kicked off the MLB trade deadline yesterday by acquiring first baseman Josh Naylor from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he'll be making his debut with the Seattle Mariners tonight against the Los Angeles Angels. It wasn't a matter of if, but when we would see Josh Naylor in a Seattle Mariners uniform. The rumors circulating around the Mariners acquiring him date back to almost 2 off seasons ago, it feels like, where first base has been a pretty big position of need for the Seattle Mariners, and an expiring contract eventually going into free agency. Josh Naylor felt like a really good fit, and even last offseason where the Diamondbacks acquired him for Slade Cecconi and a comp round pick, felt like the Mariners maybe could have made that trade, but they pulled the trigger here at the deadline and give up left-handed pitcher, just made his debut. Brandyn Garcia was the number 13th ranked prospect in the Mariners system, and Ashton Izzi, a right-hander down in high A, was the Mariners number 16. They've currently already been re-ranked in the Diamondbacks prospect rankings, 11th for Ashton Izzi and 16th for Brandyn Garcia. In the return for Josh Naylor, the Diamondbacks get a quality left-handed reliever in Brandyn Garcia, a guy that truly could be a back end of the bullpen, high leverage arm for a long time wherever he does end up. And Ashton Izzi is a guy, right-hander, pretty decent arsenal. The numbers don't really show it at high A. A lot of people that I've talked to, namely Aaron Hughes, friend of the channel, is a bit higher on Ashton Izzi than maybe I am. I see him as a potential back end of the rotation guy, maybe could give you some innings here and there. Aaron, he views him as a more middle of the rotation guy. And it's not until 2027 that he would really see any MLB innings. So the Mariners getting a first baseman for the second half of 2025, where they're really going in for a lefty reliever who just made his debut, one of those moments being pretty shaky, and then a pitcher who probably won't see any major league action until 2027 at the earliest. I think that's a very, very good trade for the Mariners, and I also think it's a pretty good trade for the Diamondbacks. Josh Naylor is immediately going to hit 5th or better in this Mariners lineup. Fangraphs roster resource currently has him batting 5th, with JP leading off still, Julio batting 2nd, Cal Raleigh batting 3rd, Randy Rosarena batting 4th, and then Josh Naylor batting 5th, with Jorge Polanco batting 6th, Luke Raley as the DH batting 7th, Dominic Canzone batting 8th, and then Cole Young. So in this scenario, maybe this is against right-handed pitching, they do have Jorge Polanco going back to 3rd base. This is Fangraphs roster resource. I don't know how legitimate those things will be. I fully expect Williamson to stay on the roster for the time being, and if it's against the lefty, he'll be in there. But Naylor is not a guy that you're platooning. He is your everyday first baseman, and he should stick in the middle of the lineup for the rest of the year, and that's exactly why the Seattle Mariners acquired him at this trade deadline. Naylor's only got 11 home runs on the year. The big home run pop from last year that we saw, where he hit 31, his career high, is not necessarily at the same rate right now, but I will say his OPS is higher than it was last year. Last year, in 2024, over 563 at-bats, he had 137 hits, 31 home runs. He hit 243, 320, 456 with a 776 OPS. Maybe selling out a bit too much for the power. In 2025, in 349 at-bats, he's got 102 hits with 11 home runs, a 292 average, a 360 on base, a 447 slugging, and an 807 OPS. Josh Naylor is a guy that has been a very consistent hitter since breaking on to the scene in 2022 with the Cleveland Guardians. Since then, it's been a 121 OPS plus, a 130 OPS plus, a 118 OPS plus, and then this year a 123 OPS plus. The best thing I think about Josh Naylor's game, yes, he is a very strong hitter. Lots of power, lots of gap power in there, but he simply just gets on base and doesn't strike out a lot. His career strikeout percentage is 15.9%, 7 points below league average. His career walk percentage is 7.9%, right around league average at 8.5%, right? This year, with the Diamondbacks, his strikeout percentage is 12.4%, and his walk percentage is 9.4. He is walking almost as much as he is striking out, and that is always a good sign for a quality hitter. He's obviously a lefty, and the pull percentage out of Josh Naylor is at 38.2%. That lefty pull swing will play in T-Mobile Park. All of his home runs this season have come to the pull side. You look back at 2024, only 4 of his 31 home runs were out to the left side of the field. There's a couple in center, but mainly that pull side power is what you are looking for out of Josh Naylor, and it's exactly what you're going to get, specifically in 2025. Not a single one has passed the center field mark going towards left field. All have been out to right field. Namely, I mean, there's a walk-off grand slam against the Mariners in there, but Josh Naylor, he's not going to wow you defensively at first base. At least he hasn't this year. He has in the past. He's been an average or above average defender at first base, according to outs above average in previous seasons. This year, he's currently at 20th percentile, -2 range over there at first base. But last year, 64th percentile, 0 outs above average, just about as average of a defender as you can get at first base. In 2023, he had a 5 outs above average at first base with an 88th percentile outs above average percentile there. He's been a good defender in the past. Whether or not that's something that we really care about fully at first base, I know I don't a ton, because the main reason why you got Josh Naylor is, one, he's an absolute dog. He's going to rock the baby. He's probably going to smack his helmet on the ground or against his forehead. He's a literal psychopath, it looks like sometimes, out on the diamond. He's also going to hit in the smack dab middle of your order every single night for the rest of this season and drive in runs for you. I mentioned that he's going to be your everyday first baseman. The splits, left-handed and right-handed, are not too bad. Of course, he does hit a lot better against right-handed pitching. His slash line this on the year so far, against right-handed pitching, he's hitting 310, 390 with a 493 slug and 884 OPS. Against left-handed pitching, he's batting 258 with a 297 on base, a 358 slugging with a 655 OPS. It's not perfect, but it is okay. Kick Dirt Baseball, shout out Kick Dirt, posted, I think, the day before Josh Naylor got acquired. The worst position group / split in MLB is the Mariners first base versus left-handed pitching with a 12 WRC+. In his video, in the reply, in just like the breakdown of it, he noted some guys that would be upgrades over a 12 WRC+, not a high bar to make, but some names that were being teased as options. Josh Naylor, one of them, an 83 WRC+ against left-handed pitching. Again, it's not league average, it's not great, but basically 70 points better than what you were already getting out of that group. Yes, Josh Naylor is a huge upgrade for this team at the deadline, and exactly what I think the doctor ordered. The one big issue for Josh Naylor, and this is not uncommon, I think, for any professional hitter, is he does struggle with a specific pitch. He crushes fastballs. A 303 batting average against fastballs this year, a 485 slug. Sinkers, a 358 batting average with a 491 slug. Curveballs, a 300 batting average with a 533 slug. Changeups, a 323 average with a 419 slug. Sweepers, a 310 batting average with a 345 slug. All of these, by the way, he's seen over 100 pitches of. The one that he's struggled the most against, where he's seen over 100 pitches, are sliders. He's currently hitting 179 with a 299 slug. Of the pitches that he's seen over 100 of this year, that is the only one where he's batting below 300 against, and it is 179. So he will get exposed by sliders. It's going to happen. That's just the nature of the game. The book is out on Josh Naylor versus sliders. But if he can take advantage of mistakes of any of the other kind of pitches he will be seeing, he has a chance to do legitimate damage for the rest of the Mariners season. And this is as big of a signal as you can get that the Mariners are going all in, or at least they should be, by kicking off the deadline with getting Josh Naylor. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. Trading Brandyn, Garcia, and Ashton, Izzi for, 2.5 months, 3 months of Josh Naylor is a very good move to make in a winning environment, and does not eliminate you from making any other trades immediately. You are still in the hunt for Eugenio Suarez. You can still upgrade the bullpen massively with a Ryan Helsley, a David Bednar, or maybe even a Griffin Jax. If you miss out on Gino, you still have the firepower to go get a Willie Castro if need be. Or maybe even Ryan McMahon. I don't do this often. I don't know if I ever have actually said this out loud, but thank you, Yankees, for trading for Ryan McMahon. So we don't even have the opportunity to. So thank you. And also, Gino's even more on than ever before. Just throwing it out there. That's neither here nor there. What is here now, though, is that the Mariners have a quality first baseman, a bona fide, legit first baseman that will hit in the top half of their order for the rest of the season in Josh Naylor, wearing number 12. If he goes nuclear in the second half and puts has a big postseason moment, Naylor 12 is going to be a huge seller for Mariners fans or just Seattle fans in general because of that number 12, obviously with the Seahawks being in mind there. And another thing to consider, clubhouse fit and guys that they think that they can extend. Naylor's a free agent. I think he makes a lot of sense for an extension candidate if the Mariners do feel like they can get something done with Naylor before the season ends. Just throwing it out there. I'd give it like a 30% chance that it happens. But as Lloyd said in Dumb and Dumber, you're telling me there's a chance. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're as excited about Josh Naylor as I am, making his debut tonight against the Angels against Jose Soriano. Hopefully he gets a hit in his first at-bat because that would be pretty sick. But again, thank you guys for watching.